Hi, I'm Hog, this is The Dice, and you're watching Hogwash, where I give my opinions on elements of pop culture in the vain hope that anybody cares about what I have to say. So, why don't we ask the Dice Gods what I'm going to be talking about today? Fuck. Jump scare! Did that scare you? What I just did there, that was crass. That was lazy. That was completely devoid of all artistry and skill. Because the jump scare is the fart joke of horror. And I'm sorry to all of the Doctor Who fans out there, but the Weeping Angels are nothing but a personification of the jump scare. The episode of Doctor Who where the Weeping Angels are at their best, and I mean their very best, is Blink, which is also the first episode that they appear in. Now, throughout this episode, the angels, when you take your eyes off them, move a little bit closer. Usually in some sort of pose of attack. And that's a jump scare. That's what a jump scare is. You look away and look back, and suddenly a thing is in front of you that wasn't there before. It's cheap and it's lazy. The problem is there's very little else about the angels that's scary. They don't do anything else. Though maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe their motivations are what brings the scare. Maybe their motivations are more genuinely frightening than merely shocking. Let's have a look.
Fascinating race, the Weeping Angels. The only psychopaths in the universe to kill you nicely.
So they want to kill you. Good start. Your horror monster should always want to kill, or torture, or something like that. It's not a bad place to start.
No mess, no fuss, they just zap you into the past and let you live to death.
Okay, they're killing you by displacing you in time. That's not really killing you. That's moving you in time. Okay, like being displaced in time is annoying, inconvenient. I imagine it could be kind of scary in an existential sort of way, but okay. Maybe the scariness is why they're displacing you in time.
You die in the past, and in the present they consume the energy of all the days you might have had.
They're what? No, wait, what? They're displacing you in time so that they can feed off the lost potential of the days you didn't get to have. But those you do still get to have those days. Those days have just been moved somewhere else rather than being where they used to be. Alright. If I have a cake, and when I bought the cake, I had planned to eat the cake in my bedroom, but then I decide instead to eat the cake in the kitchen. That does not mean I have lost cakey goodness. It means I have relocated the cakey goodness. I have relocated my enjoyment of cakey goodness, and it's the same with this. Those days are not lost. They are relocated. So not only is that not really very scary, it just doesn't make any sense. It's nonsense. So maybe there's something else. Maybe it's how they do it. Maybe how they do it makes them scary.
And they have survived this long because they have the most perfect defense system ever evolved. They are quantum locked. They don't exist when they're being observed. The moment they are seen by any other living creature, they freeze into rock.
Okay. It's a self-defense mechanism. They can't move when they're seen so that they become a rock. Wait, what? Wait. How is staying perfectly still a defense mechanism? Let's just let the doctor explain.
No choice, it's a fact of their biology. In the sight of any living thing, they literally turn to stone. And you can't kill a stone.
No, you can't kill a stone. But you can turn it into powder. You can encase it in, like, concrete. You can drop it in a volcano. You can... There's certain kinds of acid that'll dissolve it, like... Okay. This seems to have broken one of the fundamental rules of creating horror monsters. When you create a horror monster, it should be a physical threat. It should be there to kill you or torture or maim you in some way, do something horrible physically to you. But it should also embody a more abstract fear. Zombies embody a fear of the loss of humanity. Lovecraftian monsters embody a fear of humanity not having any real control in the universe. The angels don't seem to embody anything. Like maybe a phobia, which isn't quite the same as a fear. They might embody a phobia of statues. But unless there's a secret group of people who are deathly afraid of being displaced in time, they're not really embodying much in the way of abstract fear. Now, to be fair to the episode, they've obeyed the golden rule of horror quite well. Despite it being an episode of Doctor Who, the Doctor is barely involved, and that's a good thing. The protagonist is instead Sally Sparrow, an ordinary human being, with no time machine, no knowledge on aliens, and no magic screwdriver wand. The scariness of your monster is directly proportional to how powerless your protagonist is. If you have a protagonist who doesn't know what's going on, who has no real means of fighting, who has no real means of escape, that is scary. But if you have a protagonist who can take everything the monster is throwing at them and throw it right back, who can bring down the monster, who can kill it, that's less scary. It becomes less horror, more of an action movie. And that was why leaving the Doctor out for the most part was a very good move. Because these things that kill by time traveling you are not a threat to a time traveler.
Normally I'd offer you a lift home, but somebody nicked my motor.
The only way to make it work when your protagonist is as powerful or close to as powerful as your monster is to keep upping the ante, changing the monster's abilities and making its abilities bigger in order to make it more of a threat to the protagonist. The problem with doing that is that it often ends up getting a little bit silly. Like this. Or like this. Another flaw is that the not scariest, but creepiest parts of Blink aren't the angels themselves. The only moments where you feel unease, genuine, real unease, as opposed to shock and the anticipation of shock, which are all you really get from jump scares, are the moments when the Doctor is sending his messages to the future to Sally. The writing on the wall behind the wallpaper. the messages in the videos before she's worked out what's going on.
Don't blink. Don't even blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast. Faster than you can believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away. And don't blink. Good luck.
They're the only moments that engender real, genuine unease. And that's a problem. If the hero is the source of more genuine unease than your monster, you have failed at horror. Now, I know there's a lot of Doctor Who fans out there whose favourite monster is the Weeping Angels. There's a lot of Doctor Who fans out there whose favourite episode is Blink. But I'm sorry, Blink is nothing but one long fart joke. Who came up with this lazy concept anyway? Oh!